What's up, everybody? Today we are going through undoing unmotivated, right? This is really the first step to rekindling your desire and really living a life on purpose. Because so many people just tell me, I'm just not that motivated. I can't get up in the morning. I don't want to do it. I keep hitting the snooze button. And there's so much that goes into that. So if you've ever felt when you wake up, like you just don't have that spark to get going, you're not alone, right? Today we're tackling that. We're going to undo that feeling of being unmotivated, because when you're unmotivated, you're stuck, right? You're stuck in neutral. You can hammer the gas as hard as you want, but you're just spinning your wheels and you're not going anywhere. We go through the motions. There's no sense of purpose. There's no excitement. You come home, you wake up, you go to work, you come home, you do whatever it is you got to do for the dog, for the kids, for everybody else. You go to sleep, you wake up, you do it again. There's nothing happening that actually lights you up. And that's terrible feeling. And it can feel like you're just existing rather than just truly living. What I'm going to go through today is how I got unstuck, how I got undid unmotivated, and a 3-step simple process, really to relight that inner flame. Because the opposite of unmotivated is really desire, right? If you desire something, it's that not just like a want for something. This is really about feeling deep, feeling like a burning drive to go after something that makes you jump out of bed in the morning, to think like you're really going after something. And when you tap into what it is that you truly want, that's when you're really going to start to understand what motivation is, what it isn't, and how to have more of it in your life. So really, let's start with desire, because Napoleon Hill put it best. He said, desire is the starting point of all achievement. So anything that you want, we start with desire. Knowing what it is that you want is that first step. I'll ask 100 people and I'll get all sorts of answers back of, hey, what is it you want? And most people say, I don't know. I don't know what it is that I truly want. I don't have a clear picture of it, but I know I don't want this. So simply by focusing on what it is that they don't want, they get more of it. But when you identify what it is that you truly desire at your deepest root, that sets the foundation for living on purpose. So you really don't have a motivation problem. You've got a fire problem. And here's why. I'm going to go through these 3 different steps to undo unmotivated. And each step is something cool, but it all relates to fire, right? Anytime you think of a burning desire, you think of fire. So when I created this 3-step formula, I started looking at the most successful people, the most driven people, the people that are out there that you think are crazy simply because they're so passionate about what it is they do. They're obsessed with it, what it is that they do. So the first one, I started looking at Elon Musk, right? And he said, when something's important enough, you don't even, you do it, even if the odds aren't in your favor. And he also said that people should pursue what they're passionate about, because that will make them happier than pretty much anything else. Now, it's not revolutionary what Musk said, but his drive, his determination, his desire to go to colonize Mars, to revolutionize space travel, to take on sustainable energy through Tesla in solar, in electrifying everything that there is. That's a real desire. So when looking at him, there's this spark, there's this ignition point that set him off onto something that most people don't understand, because most people are lazy. They're just disconnected from what it is they really want. And they can't stay motivated by chasing someone else's goals. So the first step in truly understanding how to do this is, what is the spark? Now, so many different people get a spark in so many different ways. It could be a loss of a love. It could be a loss of a family member. It could be loss of health. It could be loss of money, of finances. Rediscovering what it is that lights you up, that kicks you out of the depressed state, the level 1 energy that holds you back, that doesn't allow you to move forward, and at least get to a level 2 energy where you're talking about fighting, you're talking about action, you're talking about moving forward. That's what we need to have happen. So the first step is really ignite, right? Ignite the spark. See, we can't have a fire if there is no spark. So identifying what is that spark? What is it that you're going through right this second? Write down 3 things that used to excite you, that you feel out of touch with right now. What did you used to dream about? What did you say in silence, practice, in what you used to want, what you used to want to go after? See, motivation doesn't come from pressure. It comes from permission to dream again, to think of this. As lightning is the first spark. Without it, nothing burns. So Musk had this idea, this dream, and he let it drive him. Then he started to fan the flames. That's step 2. Once you ignite it, you've got to coddle that fire. If you've ever been camping and started a fire, whether you're using flint or you're doing bow and drill, or you're starting this small little fire, anything other than a match, even a match, right? If you light a match, there's an ignition point where you're rubbing the match against the sandpaper on the back, where all of a sudden it starts to flare up. That's ignition, right? Now you've got this match lit. You've got this little fire going. You've got to breathe life into it. You've got to fan the flame. And what we do there, right? Spark isn't enough. You've got to fan it with focus, routine, and accountability. See, unmotivated people tend to drift. They just go off into space and gone. Purposeful people design every single day to ensure that they're fanning the flames to grow bigger and bigger every single day, right? This is when I start thinking of Steve Jobs, right? He wasn't motivated by computers. He was driven by the idea of empowering creators. His daily focus on legacy and user experience fanned his inner fire. You don't stay motivated with hype. There's a saying that motivation doesn't last. That's why we recommend it daily. Right? So every time you shower, listen to something that fires you up. If you've ever been to any personal development seminar or something like that, when you walk out of there, you feel like you're on fire. You feel like you could eat nails. You feel like you're on top of the world, and everybody's like, yeah, let's go. What happens? The next day they wake up and that fire is gone. You've got to fan the flames to keep it going. More importantly, take the third step, because you can fan the flames, but you can also blow it out at the same time. If you don't start adding fuel to that fire, it's not going to keep going. Once it's burning, you need to keep it going, or burnout creeps in. Now, the right fuel is the people, the purpose, and the progress, right? Surround yourself with those who challenge you to be more, not settle for less. Tie your daily work to something bigger. That's why I always write out my goals every single day. And I understand, what do they point to? What are they going to? What's the bigger picture here? That's not just today, but 30, 60, 90, 1 year out from now, 2 years out, 5 years out. How does it all connect? Because looking backwards from the beginning, it's easy to see. But when you tie every single thing that you do every single day to something bigger and ask, who does this help? Then you can start to track all those little tiny wins. That's called progress. When you start seeing progress amongst your goals, that's when the fire really grows. You start to see those results. Think about it. Jocko Willink gets up every single day, 4:30 in the morning. Not because he's motivated to, not because he necessarily wants to, because he's built the discipline and that's just what he does. Same with David Goggins. It wasn't about the things that he was doing. Going out and do something that sucks every single day just became his new norm. Your success is more tied to the things that you do on a daily basis. Don't rely on emotion. You're not going to feel like it every day. Rely on action in following your steps of getting up, getting at it, and winning the day. Motivation fades real quick, right? Fuel keeps it going. So when we're building that fire, we've got to add sticks to it. We've got to add wood to it. The more fuel that you continue to add to the fire, the longer that fire can burn. And if we're not continuously adding fuel to the fire, it's going to burn out real quick. So listen, you're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You've just forgot how to ignite, fan, and fuel your fire. And today we reverse that. So when we start talking about igniting, fanning, and fueling your fire, here are a few things that you can do, right? Number one, identify what truly excites you. So go back to the moments that you felt most alive, most passionate. What were you doing? Who were you doing it with? What was it creative? Were you helping somebody? Were you drawing? Were you writing? Were you talking? What truly lights you up? Start to use the On Purpose operating system. Start to use the Wake Up on Purpose journal. Use something, but start getting these moments out of your head. One of the coolest things that I really don't remember where this came from was something that helped me really get past a lot of the bullshit that I was facing early on, was to actually write a success journal. And it basically started you down an exercise of saying, on one page, write 0 to 10. On the next page, write 10 to 20. On the following page, write 20 to 30. And it just went in tens. So on every page then, it said, write out all of the things that you accomplished in that time that you probably thought was impossible at the time. And they really dove down to your first 5 years and the thought of walking, of talking, of learning how to ride a bike, learning how to ice skate, learning to play the piano, all these little things that you probably take for granted now. When you start stacking those up, and you might say, yeah, but Dan, that was 20 years ago. That was 30 years ago. That was 40 years ago. And it meant nothing. And it's not true. It meant everything. It meant that you could do whatever you wanted, whatever you set your mind to, as long as it excited you. There were so many times when I hated reading. I was terrible at it very early on. I was really good at math, top math for a long time, until everything became word problems. Then I sucked at it. So in order to get me to read, my mom would buy me all sorts of different books. The only thing that stuck, the only reason I started to actually read well was now I'm really dating myself. This was back when Nintendo first came out, and this is when kind of the whole gamer thing started to really hit, and they launched a magazine called Nintendo Power. If you remember Nintendo Power, hit me up in the comments, because that was honestly how I learned to read. Was I read every single issue front to back and kept all of them. And as I would play video games, we would go through all the different tutorials on how to do things, all the cheat codes and the secret rooms and secret levels and all this other stuff. But that was what got me reading, because I actually enjoyed it. Most people aren't just lit up because they're not doing anything that excites them. There's the saying that it's if you don't figure out what it is that you want to do, somebody else will hire you and pay you to do what their dreams, what their goals are. So getting back to finding out what truly excites you, what lights up your fire. Next, be goal oriented. Set a desire-based goal. Choose one small goal that just aligns with your deepest desire and commit to it for the next 30 days and just keep doing it. This is where using the Wake Up on Purpose planner is perfect, because you can plan your days, you can plan your weeks, you can plan your months. All of that stuff starts to tie in. In the hand-mind connection, I truly believe that there's more to it. The more and more digital we get, the less and less I remember. I still love the notebook. I always have a notebook with me. I'm always writing something down, simply because I love the kinesthetic learning of it. I'll go back and I'll rewrite things just to make it bold. One, so that it looks good in my notebook and I can find things, I can skip, scan, and scroll, and I can see things just by flipping pages. But it also ingrains it in my memory. So by writing my goals every single day that I know are aligned with my burning desire, my passion, things that I truly want to get done, I know that every single day I'm taking at least another step toward it. And then create that ritual, right? So a daily desire ritual. So you start every single day by reconnecting with your desire. That's why I write my goals down every single day. Whether it's through visualization, journaling, simply reminding yourself in different ways, using a mind movie, it doesn't matter. Start building the daily practice of connecting with your desire and what your future outcome is. And there's no stopping you. You imagine you start stacking up those one mores, the one thing you do every single day, right? We go to the gym and we work out for one day and we see nothing. There's no change. Day two, you go back, you do it again. Again, you look in the mirror, nothing. You won't see any change. Day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. The whole first week, you're not going to see any improvement. So why keep doing it? And that's where most people stop. Even if it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks in, barely perceptible, the changes that actually happen when you go to the gym. You stack up 90 days of going to the gym. Suddenly, you're a different person. That's why changing one area of your life for the better changes everything else. So start by reigniting. So ignite, fan, and fuel, right? Ignite is reconnecting with your deeper desires. Fanning is about building the structure in the daily habits. And fueling is about surrounding yourself with the people and the systems to replenish you, to keep that thing going. This is how you undo UnMotivated. This is how you leverage the first step in the on-purpose operating system of desire. Know what you truly want. Because if you don't, somebody else will pay you just a little bit, just enough to keep you around so that you won't quit in order for them to fulfill their desire. Don't stay stuck. Don't be lazy. Put in the work. Figure out your desire. Ignite, fuel, fan, and fuel your desire to living a life on purpose.